So in the meantime, we got some new Fox polling numbers. It tells us a little bit about how you feel about your political leaders. It finds President Biden's approval rating remains in negative territory at 44%. His ratings for handling several major issues also underwater. I want to bring in Kellyanne Conway, some analysis on this. And Kellyanne, good morning to you. Nice to see you in Florida. You're the lucky one, given what we've got in New York today. I think this is interesting. Among Democrats, would you like to see President Biden run again or see someone else? He's at 52%, right around where he was about a month ago. Advance at one time. Here's the intriguing thing. The Keep Biden number is up 7 points from a month ago. Does that tell you much?
Yes, I looked at the crosstabs, Bill. You know what's really driving it? More Republicans want Joe Biden to run in 2024 than do Democrats. And I think that's because Republicans are wise to the fact that we're watching a crumbling presidency, a crumbling economy right before our eyes. So Biden's doing a little bit better on foreign policy than he was. He's doing a little bit better overall. But his approval rating on the key issues that voters say are going to motivate them to the polls are really very poor. On the economy, his approval rating is 35%. On border security, his approval rating is 36%. And among independents, that key and growing group all across this country, his approval rating in the Fox News poll is 35%. He's got a net negative 30% approval rating, 65% disapproval, 35% approval among self-identified independents, which of course will decide who the next president is.
Yeah. Okay. Among Republicans, here we go. Donald Trump is looking better than he did in our last polling. He is at 54 points. That's up 9 points from the previous month. And Ron DeSantis is ticked lower, down about 4 points. That tell you much there?
It tells us an awful lot because it's not like DeSantis is just in Tallahassee being the governor. He's been all around the country releasing the book. I think it was a smart move for him to go and make the country his focus group, if you will, tip his toe in the water and say, you know, let me see what's out there. If there's really as great excitement for my candidacy among voters as there are among some donors and some political prognosticators. I mean, Bill, you and I sat on election night and Dana on the midterm Fox coverage. If anybody had said that night that come March, Donald Trump would be beating Ron DeSantis by significant double digits, 30 points in the Fox News poll in late March, that person would have been seen as a sycophant. I think what's happened was something I said to Dana on your program November 18th, 2022, which is that voters decide who our presidents are, not the donors, not the pollsters, not the anchors, not the political class. The more voters are told who can win, who can't win, the more they kind of like to remind all of us they have a voice and a choice. What I think is most significant about the Fox News poll and the crosstabs is Trump is up by 15 points among women from the last poll. While you've got the Stormy Daniels brouhaha going on, he's up 17 points among young voters. So much for the young voters saying, I want generational change, at least right now. So there's plenty of time. Ron DeSantis has not yet announced his candidacy. He has a big bite at the apple coming up. He can have a huge splash, a very well choreographed get to know you moment, get to know me moment in his formal announcement. But he's lost some traction. He's lost some time since those November midterms. I think he talks a little bit too much about woke, a little bit too much about COVID. The idea that the Republican presidential primary voter in 2024 is going to want to hear about COVID is pretty remote. Last point. Yeah. I love the Fox News question because it rarely gets asked in other polls. Voters of both Democrat and Republican, Bill, were asked, what matters more to you in a candidate for president, electability or their position on the issues? Whether they can win the, quote, electability, 18%, their position on the issues, 73%. Give credit to voters. They're paying attention. They want certain issues to prevail and others to fail.
Kellyanne, thank you. Much more to go over in time. Trump's up 11, not 9. I stated 9. My math was poor. But nice to see you today. Thank you, Kellyanne. More to talk about soon.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.